Welcome to Rugby Tonight, the best bits. We've got another great show lined up for you as we're joined in the studio by Wasps scrum half Joe Simpson, Harlequins pair Tim Visser and Jack Clifford, and Geordie Shore star Gaz Beadle. And we have the usual insight and analysis from Austin Healey, Lawrence Dallaglio, Ben Kay, Brian O'Driscoll and the team. Enjoy.
One of the big decisions will be around the captaincy. Will he reappoint Chris Robshaw at Harlequins? Joe Launchbury's getting a lot of raps at the moment as an international player and a captain yourself. From outside centre, what are your views on that?
But I'm going to shoot every back out there at international level in the foot now and say it's not a position to captain outside of 10. It really isn't. I did it for 10 years and I was, such a huge honour to do it. I couldn't turn it down. But if you really want to be in control, get into the referee's ear and get into his head a little bit, you need to be 1 to 9 and probably excluding the front 3 because their head goes in places that you wouldn't put your foot. So maybe second row to 9.
So what you're basically saying is the forwards give away all the penalties, so we need to be close to the referee.
Exactly.
I hear what you're saying. Very, very interesting appointment. Talking of England players, as Martin said at the top of the show, Manu Tuilagi, massive signing, allegedly over £400,000 to keep him at Leicester Tigers. Ben Young's obviously re-signing. There was speculation he may go to Bath, and Ed Slater, the club captain, and Freddie Burns. So fantastic. I mean, do you think the decision for Manu Tuilagi was a simple one, or might have been influenced a little bit by the coaching there?
Absolutely. I think Aaron Major coming in, you can see that he's trying to get them to play a particular brand, and it's exciting. And I think players like Ben Young signing on is huge, Ed Slater as well. But Manu, no one's really talked about Manu that much this year. He was a huge loss to England in the World Cup, and when he gets back for Leicester and for England, there'll be a force to be reckoned with.
What a story over the last 18 months. Incredible. We'll get on to the Exeter game, maybe not the best one, but let's concentrate and accentuate the positives. Performances in Europe, astonishing this year. The turnaround since you went to the Rico, this is your first full season there. Just give us an idea of how huge the change has been at Wasps from what it was in the dark days.
Yeah. The change has been fantastic. Professionalism has gone through the roof. We loved acting. Our training ground and High Wycombe, that was our home. That was my home. But now we've made the long move up to Coventry and things are working out quite well. We're playing, I think, the best rugby that I've ever played for Wasps, personally, and the attendances are up and financially we're stable, which is something that we never had before.
Well, the dark days when you're referring to when Lawrence was captain.
Yeah. Well, Lawrence was captain and they were winning Harlequin Cups. No, I'm talking about the days when Dai Yong had to put his hand in his own pocket to pay for transport for the team. I mean, there was a moment when you guys were pretty close to going out of business.
Yeah, I think we were a couple of weeks away. We were struggling, and Derek has come in and done a fantastic job. He's really backed Dai. He's brought Dai in and really backed the whole squad and the whole team, and at the moment it's paying off, and we hope that we can keep improving.
Yeah, it's good to see Eddie Jones up there, isn't it? Enjoying the company and the weather. What's it like, Joe? He's obviously on the road now. He's looking at a load of English qualified players. Is it in the back of your mind, or is it right at the front of your mind that there's a line in the sand and you can start again? Yeah,
it's a big point for players who haven't quite made it, succeeded there with their England ambitions so far. I guess it's all we can concentrate on is our club form, and Wasps have been going well. We had a poor performance on the weekend, which was frustrating, but you just need to really make sure that your performance is up to scratch, and the selection should take care of itself.
Let's pretend he's not watching. Do you think you are going to get in the team?
The problem is there's so many good nines in the Premiership.
No, I didn't say that. Let's pretend. Do you think you're good enough to play 9 for England?
I believe I can.
Good.
I can contribute and bring something that other players can't.
So do I. So
good
say
it. You've got the ringing endorsement of Austin Healey. How does that make you feel?
Absolutely.
Good.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Gaz Beadle.
Gaz. So that was your first ever game of rugby at Rugby Aid?
It was, yes.
And you pulled your hamstring after how many seconds of the match?
About 8 minutes.
You said you were going to pull something.
I didn't really pull it. I just seen like.
I'm here all week.
I just seen Brad fall and went towards us. I was off.
How scary was that? Because obviously these guys, not me and Joe, these guys are pretty big, or Drico are pretty big.
Yeah.
So was there an element of fear in your mind before the game?
I think when I was doing the national anthem, standing next to Jason Robinson, I just kind of thought, what the hell am I doing here, man? And then I seen Brad Thorne run towards us. And I was just like, yep, hamstring's gone, I'm off.
Well, we saw Jamie Lang a few weeks ago,
Yeah.
and he got wiped out by Brad Thorne, broke 2 of his ribs. I think he did the wise thing. But we'd also heard that in the training, in the build-up to the match, you were bragging, well, not bragging, confident, let's call it confidence, that you were quick, rapid, as you said, rapid. And we've got evidence here of your race. You're up against some pretty decent fellas here, Ian Bolshaw, Mark Cueto. Who else do we have? Martin Afire. And the result is pretty impressive. Let's have a look at this. Go! And Gaz it is! That's Chariots of Fire you've just absolutely smoked there. Done. But if we look at the reverse angle, Hugo Monnier be very, very ashamed.
Yeah, the big threat Bolshaw was taken out of competition, wasn't he, early doors? So what was it like going out on that field? I mean, a lot of people here will have loved you. All would have loved to play in that game, wouldn't you? Would you have put your bodies on the line in the same way? Is that genuinely how you felt? You felt, you know, scared for your life?
I think, like I said, when you stand against some of them boys and you see how big they are, like, I was tiny, man. And I looked at, like, I say, Brad and that Serge Beston and stuff like that. And when they run towards you, it is the scariest.
That's Serge Beston's face, though. It's got nothing to do with what he plays like on the field.
It's just, like I say, it's my first ever game of rugby, and the training, the build-up, everything was amazing. When you actually, like, once them first tackles started going in, it wasn't a charity match anymore. Them boys were playing, like, properly. That's how Jamie obviously broke his ribs. And the tackles did start, like, they were hitting him hard. But it was, like, one of the best days I've had in a long time.
Has it sparked an interest in rugby? Do you watch the occasional game when you're not travelling around the world doing whatever it is you do?
I did actually. I've actually stayed quite close to a lot of the boys, and I went to one of the England matches in the World Cup, and I actually went to the New Zealand All Blacks for Dan Carter messages on Twitter, and they had a Geordie Shore competition in their team hotel. So I went down and judged the competition at the All Blacks hotel, which is the most random thing. So I'm still pally with Dan Carter. So yeah, it's a little path into it.
You've got to go through Ali Williams now to get to Dan Carter. You realise that. Why did we not hear about the All Blacks having Geordie Shore parties during the World Cup?
It was because they were playing in Newcastle, wasn't it? So they were playing, the hotel was like 40 minutes out.
Outstanding.
Yeah, so they got us down.
Great stuff. Well,
cool,
yeah, brilliant. You're a great sport at Rugby 8. Fantastic. Yeah, great to have you here. Thanks a lot for coming
And also, you've got more Twitter followers than all of us lot put together in the entire room, so congratulations on that as well.
What has changed? Quins seem to be bossing games now.
I think we're doing really well with the guys we've brought in. I mean, the likes of Adam Jones, Kev, or James Horwell, Matt Luamanu coming in. These players are coming in and they've really bolstered us, so they're making a massive impact for us. Guys like Matt just sitting people down, Kev bossing the line out, and Jonesy running it from the front. Yeah, it's just they've made such an impact for us.
What do you make of all that? You see the headlines, this man can captain England. How do you cope with all that?
Obviously, yeah, it's a massive honour, and I mean, the fact that even anyone would think of that is great, and I feel very humble about it. But I mean, having someone like Chris Robshaw in the team, it's a great person to learn off. I mean, he's captained for years, and he's really led by example, led our team, and then led the country as well. And he's led it so well. And obviously, he has got stick before. And I don't believe that he should have ever had any stick. I think he's a great captain and a great player. But I mean, he's just someone to learn off, a great player to learn off. And the experience we have in the Quins back row, we used to have like Murray Fassavalu, players like that. But Nick Easter's still there. I mean, he's a great player to learn off. Chris Robshaw, another great player to learn off. I mean, there's so much experience and so many good players. I mean, I've had my fair share of great players to learn off.
There's just one question I do want to ask you guys. Obviously, we're all talking with England about Eddie Jones taking charge. There was rumours that Conor O'Shea may have gone to Italy. He's gone fairly public saying he's not interested in that. He's got unfinished business with Harlequins. How important is it for you guys that Conor O'Shea stays at Quins?
It's massive for us. He's built our team. He's built us. And I mean, the fact we won the Premiership with him, he's done such a good job with us. And I mean, he promotes the young players. We obviously, as a young guy coming through the academy, he's not afraid to put us in, and we love that. The fact that he's brought so many players through the academy, through the Dean Richards era, and trusted us and kept us on, and given us an opportunity.
I think the Wasp Bath game, purely because both of them coming off the back of a defeat, be really interested to see how they both respond, and then obviously the reverse fixture back the other way.
And Ulster, it's almost make or break now for them, isn't it?
Yeah, obviously the first one was postponed, lost at home, so now they have to go and win really, against French opposition, 4-time winner Toulouse. And Ulster have been decimated with injuries, another 4 injuries off the back of last weekend's Pro 12 game. So yeah, they'll be definitely up against it, but you never know. It's not an easy place to go and play as Belfast.
Yeah. What about the mood in Leinster? What's the mood there at the moment? Because they have not had a good time in Europe.
No, they haven't, but I think it's picked up small, but I think, huge disappointment. First time that they've lost back-to-back games since 96 and 97, so obviously they're all but out. Mathematically can qualify, but when you've got Toulon back-to-back, you'd have to imagine it's not going to happen. So they just want to get performances going again. Played a lot better 2 weekends ago. Their game was postponed this weekend. So an opportunity to blood some young guys and get that those fresh faces in and hopefully get better performances to match these guys when they see them again in January.
It was a fantastic performance. Ben, talking about big games, Racing Saints, they've played each other before over there. Again, it'll actually break the group wide open.
Yeah, absolutely. And you look at the performance against Bath, some big game players stood up for Northampton. The scrum will obviously be massive. The French put a lot of stead in the scrum, though the Premiership certainly that's been big. But I just think that if Northampton can get on that roll, suddenly their season is just building and building and building, and that will be very dangerous for
Dan Carter. Do you think you'll see? That'll be exciting, won't it?
It'll be exciting, but the problem is for Saints. They played Racing last season in the pool stages, and they were going well in Europe. And Racing, Lawrence, with a team that ruined Northampton's European campaign. They put doubt in their mind, and actually, if you look at their form then through to the end of the season, they never really recovered from that. Racing could do some damage.
They could do some damage, and bad news for Saints is I think this is a better Racing side than we saw last season as well, as you say, with Dan Carter.
But him coming in fresh as well, that might everyone might look to him and go, go on then. And he's learning a new language. I know there's lots of English people around there, but learning a lot of new moves as well, a different style of play. It could work the other way along.
That's all for this week. Thanks for watching Rugby Tonight, the best bits, and don't forget to hit subscribe. See you next time.